Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to do something really awesome. We're going to be able to control the exact expression of our character. This means that you will be able to create a character and then choose what expression you want it to make. You don't have to recreate and regenerate an image. You can simply create one image and then change the expression of that image. And it gets even better. Not only you can choose the expression, you can actually create animations of the character, changing the expressions from one expression to the other, to the next, and so on. So let's not waste any more time because I know you already want to do it, and let's get started. As always, we're going to start with the default view. And once again, as always, before I start playing with things in ComfyUI, I go to the Update All button, clicking it, giving it a few seconds or minutes to update, and make sure that all my add-ons or all my extensions and all the core features of my ComfyUI are up to the latest version. So I really encourage you to do this once every couple of days because there are a lot of updates that keeps being released in the ComfyUI. Every time there's a new technology, it is advisable to update the ComfyUI. Once we are done with the update, we'll click Restart. Once it is done, we're back to the ComfyUI. If you haven't updated your ComfyUI in the recent time, you'll probably notice that a lot has changed when it comes to the interface. That's fine. Everything still works the same. The search is more intuitive. You get a preview of the nodes that you're going to add. So the UI is improving constantly, and we're going to go to the manager and to the custom nodes manager, and here we will simply look for live portraits. You'll see that there are several nodes dealing with it, but we're going to use the advanced live portrait, which has great features, and it allows you to have a very simple workflow and very quickly control the facial expressions of your image. Restart ComfyUI after the install is done. I've already done it. And once you do that, it will add some nodes that we'll see later. But for starters, we will just pick a model. So we're going to choose from the devilish photorealism, for example. And I'm going to make it 1024 by 1024. And I'm going to type something like a portrait photo of a warrior looking deeply into the camera, the warrior, and we'll just add some vibe. Let's say ambience. We will say a green vibe, dark tone, and we will see what we get. I'm not going to invest too much in the prompt because that's not the issue on the video. And we're going to do 16 steps. We're going to do the DPM to M and the Keras scheduler. I'm not going to save the image. I'm just going to preview it. And let's click preview and let's click Q and see what we've got. Oh, we did a 1024 batch size, which could have ended in a long time running. So we'll click the Q prompt, we'll give it a second and see how it goes. Okay, so it's done running. You might want to run several more times, but just for the sake of the example, I'm going to choose this image, the output. Maybe one thing that I'm going to add here is I don't want it to have a helmet or a hat or whatever, or a crown. So I'm going to run one more time, and we're going to give it another run just because I don't want any accessories on the head. So we got a female warrior, which is just the same. We don't really care if it's a female or male for our example, and we're going to use this image. So I'm going to the view history, and here I can simply click load on the recent generation, and I'm doing this because now I want to fix the seed, and that way even if I click Q prompt once again, nothing changes and it runs very fast. What we're going to do now is simply hook this image. I'm going to click the search and search for expressions, and here you will see that you have expression editor, which is a custom node that was installed with our advanced live portrait. And this gives you the ability to literally control the expression of the face that you are generating. So we're going to leave the default image here just for the sake of the original. So we'll have the source image. And here we're going to change the way we want the face to look. So let's say that we want it to pitch the head down. We will do something like 20 here on the rotate pitch, and we will click Q prompt again. Now, because it's already cached and a fixed seed, it will skip and use this image once again. And on the first run, it will download all the required models in case you don't have them already. And then it will quite promptly generate a new image with the expression that we want. Look at this beautiful, beautiful concept. Now we can either go to the preview image, because here you can see that it only shows you the section of the head. But if we'll go to the preview image and click the run again, you can see that it incorporates, or that it recomposites the facial expression on top of the original image. So here we can control the pitch. We'll do a negative if we want her to tilt her head up. And as you can see, it works very fast. So the thing that I love doing is going to the extra options and clicking the auto cue and change. And this way, every time I do a change, for example, if I will do now -18, it will immediately render the result, and I can play with it almost in real time, as you can see, and see the effect on the character. Now here, let's say that I want her to blink her eyes, so we can just use the blink function. I did a -20, and you can see that now the character closes her eyes. I assume you really understand the potential of this node. You can literally control every aspect of your character's facial features. Now, what I usually try to do is create a character with a natural look, and then you have much more control over the way it looks. Because here you can see that the image is really angry, and we not necessarily want her to be angry. That said, it depends on what type of things you want to achieve, and this is the simplest way you can use this feature. Now, let's go over quickly on the settings, and you will understand what each one does. So the pitch, as you see, controls the tilting of the head. The negative value means head up, a positive value means head down. Let's reset it. Now you have the rotate yaw, and this means the rotation of the head horizontally. So we will do -20, it takes the head to the right. She turns the head to the right. If I'll do +20, she will turn her head to the left, which is our mirror actually. Now let's reset it once again. Rotate roll takes the head to the side. So if I will do -20, she will take her head to the side. Blink, as you recall, controls the opening of the eye. Eyebrow controls the eyebrows. And you will see that there is a limit. So if I will do -20, you can see that it caps it on -10, because there is a range for each of the properties. You can simply play with it. If you put a bigger something that is out of range, it will simply cap it and it will use it. So if I will do 10, you can see that now her anger became surprise or a more sad look. This is why it is better to have a more natural expression, because then you can control everything. Wink will simply control one eye, as you can see. So the higher the value, the more wink it does. And you can see that it caps on 25, and -25 will do nothing. So it is currently, if I'm not mistaken, as far as I experienced it, it only does the wink on the right eye. I would expect that the negative value will do the wink on the second eye, but as you see, it doesn't really work like that. And let me know if you find a way to decide which eye is being winked. And pupil X and pupil Y actually allows you to control the look of the character. So if I want the character to look to a different location, I can do 5, and you can see that it actually turns her pupils on the x-axis, and it literally makes her turn her look. So besides having a natural expression, it is also advised to have the face in front of the camera. And let's change our character to someone facing the camera. So we write front of camera, natural look. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I played a little bit with the prompt, and this is the prompt that I finally decided to use. A portrait photo of a warrior looking straight to the camera, ambience, dark tone. I removed the green vibe because it made the character very angry. Front face and natural look with a weight of 1.2 because I really want to emphasize the natural look. And this is the image that we got. She is a little bit angry, but here it will be much easier for me to control her expression. Now, if I want her to look to the left or to the right, I can simply use the yaw, and it will result in her looking exactly where I want her to look. So let's move it back to 0. And we were at the pupil X, and here you will see now that I have much more control on the pupils, and I can tell her to rotate like so. And if we'll do that to the other side, we can actually make her look straight into the camera. And the pupil Y controls the height of the pupils. So if we will do that, for example, 20 or capped at 15, and here on the pitch we will do 15, you see that now her pupils look directly at the camera because the values are balanced. So you can see that now I can control more easily the pupils. Let's reset everything back and let's see what else. Now you have these 3 actually kind of control the phonemes of the character. And here you can actually control the shape of the mouth. So if we will do the A, it will take the mouth and make it a bit more open and a bit more and a bit more, and it will form the shape of the A phoneme. And here on the E, it will actually make the lips tighten like so. And here on the W, it will make a whistle style of look, as you can see. And if we will do several things together, you can see that you can generate very specific expressions of your character. And smile, pretty straightforward, just allows your character to have a smile or not a smile. She can be now very sad. If we do like so. Okay, so -3. As for the ratio, it allows you to fine-tune your expression and give more value to the source image rather than the sample image. We haven't talked about the sample image. We'll talk about it soon, and then you will understand what the ratio is. And here you can control all the expression, only the rotations, only the mouth, or only the eyes, etc. And this is mostly useful when you have a source image or a source video, and you only want to copy not the entire expression, but you only want to copy the rotation of the head and not to change the expression and things like that. Crop factor allows you to crop the head a bit more. So now that we're done with it, you can actually chain expressions, and we're going to do something very nice. So we're going to reset everything to the initial state, and what we want to do this time is chain another expression. And how are we going to do that? So let's just copy the expression, and we're going to hook the output image to the source image and this output image to the preview image. And let's say that here we want to give it a pitch, and here we want to give it the A. So you can see that it generated a combination of both, and this gives you additional control over. But what's best is that you can actually create animation that morph from one expression to the other. But before we do the animations, I want to talk about the sample image. So let's see what it is. Let's just remove this one. And now what we're going to do is create a sample image. The sample image will be an image of an expression that I want to copy into the expression generator. Let's take a look. I created several images, and these are the images. Let me just make it a bit bigger so you can see me really surprised. These are a few images with a few expressions, and what we want to do is use these expressions as a reference to the expressions generator. And what I want to do first is go to the site called Burmy, and Burmy allows you to edit several files at once. So I can just upload all those images. So I can just select all those images, and here I can crop them at once. So I'm going to do that. Here I can make it 1024 by 1024, and it will allow me to quickly select the crop area of each of the images. And you can see that it pretty much nailed it. And what I want to do is just click the save files, and because I only have 5 files, it was pretty quick. If you have a lot of files, you can click save a zip, and it will simply download it as a zip. So now that I have downloaded all the new cropped files, you can see that I have a better image that I can use as a reference. So as a sample image, we want to load the image, and here we're going to choose one of the images, and this will be our driving image. And you can see here that it tried to mimic the expression that I generated. Now, it didn't do 100% job, 100% a good job, but it pretty much nailed it when it comes to the lips. So you see that it tightens the lips and it looks a bit up. I guess it's because my eyes are pretty big and things like that. Let's open another expression and we'll see if anything changed. So you can see that it tries to understand the expression that you're doing and copy it. It pretty much nailed it good. Look at the eyes and the surprised look. I really like the result of it. And let's see if it also able to understand the direction of the head. And we will cue the prompt, and you see that it missed the direction, and that's because we only have the only expression. Let's do all and click again, and you can see that now it also tried to mimic the direction of the head. If I will change it from all only to rotation, you will see that the expression itself will be the default one, but the rotation will be copied. And once again here, I can lower the ratio, and then the rotation will be minified, and the effect of the sample image will be much lower, like so. And only eyes, it will try to copy only the eyes. Only mouth, it will only try to copy the shape of the mouth. We'll go with the all because we want to see everything in action. And let's see another image. So you can see that it does a pretty good job trying to copy the image. And now what we want to do is we want to try and see if we can create animations using the links. So I removed the sample image, and now we're going to replicate or duplicate in the node, and we're going to take the motion link from here to here and the image from here to here. And the motion link actually tells it to use the motion that it generated here and push it over to the next expression generator. So let's say that here I'm going to do -20, and here I'm going to do +20. So I have one motion with head up, one motion with head down. And what happens if I want to generate an animation of the character looking up and then looking down? Actually, it's very easy. We're going to remove this preview image, and we're going to type here advanced, and here you will see the advanced live portrait. And what this allows us, it allows us to take the source images, and these are the source images that we want to use, and it allows us, better yet, we don't want the source image, we want to use the motion link, And this allows us to choose which motion link we want to use each time. And here I'm going to shut down the auto cue for a second because I want to show you how to use it, and I don't want it to keep refreshing because it will give us errors. So the way it works, it might seem a bit complex at first, but eventually when you get the hang of it, it's rather simple. Each expression creates a motion, and the motion is represented by an index. 0 means the source image, the initial image. 1 means the first motion link, the first expression. 2 means the second expression, and so on. So if I go here, I can tell him, give me the first expression, okay? And I'm going to put columns 1 just for now, so you'll see what happens. And once I click Q, you will see that it gives me the source image. If now I will tell it, okay, give me the second expression, and I will click the Q prompt, you can see that it gave me the second expression. And if I will change it to 2, and I will click Q prompt, you will see that it gave me the second expression, basically. So we have the initial expression, the first expression, and the second expression. Now, these numbers tell me how to construct an animation. So if, for instance, I'm going to tell it 1 equals, meaning the first motion, and I will do here 20 columns 0 for now. What it will tell it to generate 20 frames of transitioning between the source, which is 0, that's the default one, to the first motion. And if I will take those images and I will do a preview image and I will let it run, let's just for the sake of example not make 20 because we don't want to make 20 images, so we'll say 5 frames, and we'll click Q prompt. What it will do, it will basically generate 5 images. I forgot to turn on the animate without video, meaning that I do not have a source video, which we'll discuss later on. And once I say that it is true and I will click the Q prompt, it will generate the 5 frames that I need for my animation. So you can see it right here that it generates 5 images, and throughout these 5 images, it transitions from the source, which is 0, and that's the beginning, to the first motion. And if I'll click here, I can literally see the animation frame by frame. Later on, I will show you how you can combine it to one video. Now, let's say that we want to do it in 10 frames. And here I can say now, before it goes to the next motion, I want it to wait 10 frames. So the thing that will happen now, it will generate 10 frames of the animation and additional 10 frames that it doesn't change the image. And now, if you will look at the images that were created, we have the animation of the image raising its head up, and it remains up until I will tell it otherwise. And here we want to tell it, after you wait these 10 frames, take another 20 frames, and then I don't need to wait because I don't have another motion. So this is what I'm telling it. I'm telling it, start from the original view, and during the length of 10 frames, I want you to morph from this image to this image, then wait additional 10 frames and change nothing, then take 20 frames to morph into the next motion, and then you don't have to wait because basically it's the end of our animation. But just for the sake of it, let's do 10 because we don't want the animation to complete immediately. We want it to wait a bit. And now if I will click the Q prompt, and you can see that it runs rather fast. It jumps from the frames rather fast because it doesn't regenerate the image. It simply uses the motions model, the expressions model, sorry. And once it is done, if we look at the images that we have, you can see that we have the images one by one, and the character is raising its head, then waiting for 10 more frames, and then it will start the animation of lowering the head down. Now, it's all fine and nice, but we can't really use it as is. We can either create the image sequences and save all the images, and then using video editing software combine the image sequence into a video. But luckily, there is an already built-in node that we can use in ComfyUI, and it is called Video Combine. And you can see that it is coming from a suite called Video Helper Suite, VHS. And in order to have it, you'll go to the manager, custom manager, and here just type video, and you will see a node called Video Helper Suite. And this is what allows us to use the Video Combine node. So install it, and after you've done it, you will need to restart your ComfyUI as always, but then you will be able to do a Video Combine node. And the Video Combine node allows you to take those images and generate a video output. And I'm going to walk you through here very, very short. So frame rate is how many frames per second. If you want a really smooth animation, you will probably do something like 24 frames, which is a very decent frame rate. And the loop count, you can tell it to do 10 loops or whatever, so on. This is the file name prefix. It always saves the output if it is marked as save output. We're not going to do it. You know what? We'll do it because I want to show you how it looks. And we'll do the AIA test, and this will be the name. And here you can choose the format. You can choose whatever format you wish. And I will go with the WebM format. And then it will give you some additional information relating the format. I'm usually using the default one, and it looks pretty awesome. So now we will click Q prompt once again. We will let it run, and you can see that it ran very, very fast. And now you can see that you have here an actual video animation of your character, and it raises the head for 10 seconds, for 10 frames, holds, and then lowers it. So you can see there's a glitch here, and you can play with it a little bit with the croppings and things like that. But all in all, you can see that it generated a very nice result. And if now we will go to the output folder, you will see that it generated a video file, and the video file holds all the frames that we wanted to generate. Now, obviously, the result is not perfect. You will have to play with it and understand a bit more how it works, but without a doubt, it gives you great control and great abilities. One important thing that I want to talk about is the meta batch, and we're going to talk about it soon when we're going to do a video to video conversion. So this means that we want, instead of creating the images on our own, creating the expressions on our own, let's remove the expressions. And this time we want to create the animation based on a source video. So we're going to choose the image here as a source image. And what we want to do here is add a driving images. And we're going to use the load video, upload node that is also available on the Video Helper Suite. And we will take it, and you can see here that I can upload a video. So I will choose a video to upload, choose video to upload. So here we're going to load a video. I'm going to load a video that I created where I have several short expressions, and I want this character to copycat the expressions that I am making. And the way to do it is rather simple. I'm simply going to hook the images to the driving images of the Advanced Live Portrait node. And once I will click run, it will try to run all the frames of the video. So this is why I'm putting in the frame load cap. This caps the number of frame it loads. So we will do one just for the sake of the example, and we will click the Q prompt, and it will basically process only one. You can see that here on the video. Let's remove the save output because we don't want it to move. And what it did, it simply processed the first frame of the video. But let's see what happens if I'm doing 10. and I will run it, and you can see that it's processing 10 frames, and then it's processing the 10 frames inside the live portrait, and then it does the 10 frames in the combine, and we can see that there's a start of an animation. Now, if you want the result animation to be exactly in the rate of your video, you can simply go here to the video info and click the VHS video info node. It will give me here all kind of information that I want on the video, and I can see the source FPS, and here I will simply search for a node called display any, and if you don't have it, you should install a custom node and just look for RG3 and install the RG3 ComfyUI nodes. There are a lot of useful nodes there. I'm not going to go over them, but for here, we just want the display any, which allows me to display the value of each parameter. So I can see here the source FPS, and I can do the source frame count. Let's do also display any of the RG3. And if I will click Q prompt once again, you can see that the video is recorded in 30 frames per second, and there are 158 frames, which is a lot. If I will do here 158, it will probably crash my computer because it will try to load all the frames into memory, and then it will jump ahead. So what we can do is use something called batch. So first of all, let's change the frame rate to 30 because we want the animation to be on the same rate. And this time I will do something like that. I will create a meta batch, and I will choose the VHS batch manager. What this allows, it allows to create a loop that each time takes several frames. So let's say that 16 frames per batch sounds very nice. And we will here tell it 158 frames because we want the video to load all its frames. And here on the combine video, we want to connect the meta batch also to the combine video. And what this will do, once we run it, instead of running all the 158 frames at once and then pushing them here into advanced live portrait and then running all the 158 frames on the expression, which will eventually crash our computer, it will process 16 steps, 16 frames, push them throughout the output, and then the video combine will combine them into a video and will wait. And then it will do another loop with additional 16 frames and so on until it will construct the entire video. Now let's click a Q prompt and see how it runs, and I will show you the results. So you can see now that it will run 16 frames and it stopped past them here, and it's processing the 16 expressions, and then it started building the video. We can't see anything yet because it goes on to the next batch of frames until the entire video complete. So I'm going to pause and I will get back to you once it is done. It completed the last batch, and if we'll go now to results, you can see all the results that we have. So you can see there is a beautiful animation of the character. I assume that we can fine-tune the animation, and some of the animation it managed to create good and some not. Now I want to show you how you can easily take the video and crop it, and then it will actually act much better and much faster, because when you zoom in on the face, the AI model that recognizes the expression needs to work less in order to find out what expression you're showing in the image. So what I'm using is this free online tool called Online Video Cutter. There are a lot of free online video cropping tools, but this one is rather simple. You just open the file, and then you simply mark the area that you want to crop to. And once you click save, it will start processing the video. And once it is done, it will let you download it. And now we're going to open the cropped video. So this is the cropped video. And here, when I will run the query, it will do a much better job, and it will also process it much faster. This is why I allowed myself to change the number of frames to 30. And of course, based on your setup, you can either go with higher frame per batch or lower frames per batch. Once it's done, you can see that the expressions are much better suiting the image. And if we'll do it one next to the other, it's not in sync, but you can see that it pretty much nailed all the expressions and it looks very, very nice. One thing that I also wanted to say is that it is not limited to human figures, meaning that you can actually control fictional characters, and I'm going to show you a quick demo how it can be done. And we will do it simply by changing the prompt here. Instead of a warrior, we will go with an alien creature, and let's give it a run and see what we get. So this is the alien creature that we got. I really love this photo, by the way. And you can already see that it manages to figure out the facial features of this creature, and it can also create the animation for it. So you can see that although the results are not as good as a humanoid or full humanoid figure, nevertheless, it does create some animation and you can further fine tune. I'm, for one, really like better the expression motion links because it gives me 100% control about every frame that I want to generate, and you can literally generate amazing expressions with it. So I know this has been kind of a long video and it might be a lot of information to take in, but I suggest you'll go over the video once again and try playing it step by step. Just play with the expression manager, play with the motion link, and I assure you, you will be able to do amazing stuff with this workflow. Also, it was kind of a heads up to the next videos that I will do that will handle videos, and we will see how we can take a video and change it and create other videos or other generations based on that source video and things like that. So I really hope you liked the video. If so, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.